Martha Cassidy, and I'm a social media and celebrity psychologist who specializes in suicide and cyberbullying and celebrity worship. And today we are in the tranquil beauty of Rich Hill, a market village in County Armagh in Northern Ireland. And the reason why I'm here today is because I want to interview a young man called Joshua Hewitt, who featured very recently in a Channel 4 documentary on his life being cyberbullied and being trolled by internet trolls, and where he suffered Asperger's syndrome and Tourette's syndrome, and as a result of this was incredibly trolled by these guys right across the internet. And so today we want to explore the nature of Joshua's depression and his suicidal behaviour at the Viaduct Bridge just outside the village. We know that in UK now that suicide is on the rise in Northern Ireland, especially because we have one of the highest suicide rates in the entire of UK. And so what we're going to do today is to talk to Joshua about his story, and we want to really show the contrast in how a young man here can really just turn around the depression and turn around this anguish and anxiety into something very, very positive. And so today we want to explore the nature of these trolls. They are high on narcissism, they are high on Machiavellianism. That means they want to manipulate you and control you, as they did to Joshua. They also have got underlying personality traits, these traits such as they are low on empathy, they don't really care about who they hurt, and they will persist in cyberbullying and trolling some people like Joshua in order that they might end their lives. And so today we want to focus on Joshua's story, and in the rural beauty of this marvellous little place tucked away in the County Armagh, Northern Ireland, we are going to hear how Joshua made a massive impact in turning around his anguish, his depression against the trolls. Oh, hi Joshua.
Hello, how's it going?
Joshua, you live in this marvellous place called Rich Hill.
That's right,
How
yeah.
long have you lived here, Joshua?
I have lived here all my life, so a total of 19 years.
My goodness, and I'm just looking here at this September morning and the amazing tranquility in this place that Joshua, that you lived in so much. And one would tend to think that people living in a rural village like this, with the rolling hills and the lush green fields, that why would anyone want to be depressed living in the most beautiful place like this where you can chill out and hang out with guys, and do your own thing? But you've had an incredible story that you want to tell us, haven't you? About how your life has been changed dramatically by internet trolls.
That's right, yeah. So back in September 2013, I was actually bullied out of high school due to the conditions I have, which are Asperger's syndrome and Tourette's syndrome. And when I was homeschooled, it seemed like, temporary peace. I thought the peace was maybe going to be permanent, but I had my suspicions that something that was too good to be true. So I went on Facebook and received a thread of threatening online messages, people telling me to end my life in many gruesome different ways, and I kind of started to believe it. Like the people I went to school with from nursery right up until high school all turned their backs on me because they realised, this is what I have and I don't want to be seen with someone like me. So I got bullied out of school, received death threats online until the point where I wanted to go and get my own life. So I went down to a Viaduct Bridge, which is just down the road down there, and stood on it ready to fall, only to be lifted off by a passing police officer who I owe all my thanks to.
Joshua, one would tend to think that whenever we're bullied in school, which you were, that we would tend to, and also online, you've had both online and offline bullying.
That's it, yeah.
One would tend to think, people will say to me, oh, Dr. Cassidy, why don't people just switch off? Did you feel that you could control the trolls by just switching off computer altogether?
I really don't think so, because it's something that really does play in your head. You're thinking when you do switch it off, you're like, what's being said now? Is there another comment? Has someone replied to a comment? And it really was quite scary. But the worst thing for me was actually reading the comments, because it really put me in a spiral of very bad mental health problems, which I was so close to not overcoming, so close to giving into, and so close to unfortunately passing away. So I'm glad that I'm here today to be able to share my story on a very large note.
Joshua, you have an absolutely incredible story, the best I've ever heard really in my work as a psychologist working on television. What I wanted to get behind here was really At that time, would you have gone, like some people, to your GP and asked for help from the mental health support team? What was the plan there? Did that come into your imagination and into your thinking?
So, to begin with, I was kind of ashamed, of having mental health issues because I felt that sick. I didn't want to tell anyone. I wanted to keep it to myself, so in a way I wouldn't risk upsetting family members, upsetting the very few friends that I had. So once I was taken off the bridge and told my parents, about everything that was going on, that's when I started going to mental health services, and that really did do all the positive difference.
Did you feel that the mental health report was very effective or not at the time, Joshua?
I would say that the service, it was good. It was very good actually, but at the time I didn't feel like I needed it. I felt like I could do it on my own, and I just didn't even believe in myself at the time as well. So I'm glad I went, and it taught me some positive life lessons.
You said something terribly important there, that you believed in yourself. You have high self-efficacy, and self-efficacy really means that you can really overcome trolls and you can overcome depression by self-belief, which Joshua has had here. But so we're going to down because many people have actually been taking their lives from bridges like this.
Yeah.
And at that point in your life, we really want to turn this around and say, I can beat the trolls.
That's it.
I believe in myself. I believe I can do this. I really have a message to all you guys out there. Really turn your life around. Live happiness. Live joy. Live for action. And do what you really want to do.
That's it, Arthur.
Internet trolls are covert. They are totally anonymous. And internet trolls are everywhere. We find them in every country, at all ages. And trolls have three particular personality characteristics. We know, first of all, that they are high on narcissism. They're full of their self-importance. What they want to do is they want to be able to manipulate vulnerable young people and to be able to end their lives. And so trolls are basically, they can be young people in your school, they can be young people in your youth club, they can actually be young people or even older people working as pedophiles. And so we're learning much more about the nature of trolls. Second point, that their characteristical traits tend to be high on things like psychopathology. In other words, there is an underlying psychological motive to want to destroy young people and older people by the persistence and tenacious attitudes that they have. Thirdly, they are low on empathy. They don't care really about what you will do. The more you respond, then the more the trolls will actually begin to exacerbate and intensify the desire to kill you, to get you to kill yourself by psychological warfare and abuse. The next thing about the trolls is that trolls will particularly want to destroy you psychologically right across the internet by using all forms of cyberbullying. Joshua, we are here just outside the village.
Yeah.
And I want you to tell me in some detail about what was it like that day whenever you felt that darkness of depression coming right into your head, and those last number of seconds where you felt, wow, there's no way out of this.
Yeah.
What exactly went on? I mean, this looks an amazing, beautiful place.
It's beautiful, yeah.
And looking at the mountains behind the rolling hills here, the cattle and the real beauty and tranquility of this viaduct bridge,
Yeah.
And so this was actually the point where you felt
That's right, yeah.
you wanted to die. Can you tell me about that?
So I came running down this hill, which is just up there, and I ran down, and in my head I felt I was in the depths of despair. In a way I already felt dead. There was nothing left for me to do in life. I felt like I'd hit rock bottom, and I came up here and just stood on this wall here and was ready to fall head down first into that rock and into the water. And it's not, I wouldn't say it's the biggest bridge, but it is very rocky, and there's a big rock down here and water down there, so I was ready to fall, ready to jump, ready to die. And at that moment in time I felt like I'd hit rock bottom and I was ready to go rock bottom, so that's the way I felt.
And were there any people around here, Joshua, did you choose a specific time when you wanted to jump off here?
Yeah.
Because looking down I can see really the froth from the river here. I can see the rocks here.
Yeah.
You would have died virtually within seconds, so I mean,
that was so real to you. I mean, and did you feel really that intensity of darkness, the dark triad you call it, psychology?
Yeah.
That really this was going to the end.
Yeah, I felt and I hoped that it would be the end. You know, I was standing here and my aunt was coming down as well from up there because she was trying to, you know, to talk me out of it. And so I was standing here and I was talking a wee bit, and then right from behind, passing the police officer got me off the bridge, and that was, you know, second chance of life basically. But not to have fallen in there, like to be alive and well, be able to share a positive story about how I turned my life around is really the best thing that I think I'm ever going to be able to do.
And what happened, Joshua, just at that moment when you felt you could easily, in millionths of a second, you could have been down here?
That's right.
Your aunt was coming, were they out looking for you? Together with the police?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So, so she was out looking with the police, but I only thought it was her. So she was sitting maybe around here, and I was standing, and I was my feet were nearly crouched down, you know, ready to fall. And then, because I was in such a dizzy and disoriented frame of mind, the police had kind of must have pulled in around there because I turned into the car and slowly crept up, because it was also, I'd say, I think it was about 9 or 10 o'clock at night, so it was pitch black, and I didn't see or hear them coming down because the wind was quite high, and you know, I was ready to fall, ready to die. But I look at this bridge almost as a beacon of hope, if you know what I mean, because this is the bridge that I nearly ended my life on, but also the bridge that in a split second I stayed alive, and in a split second I felt a second chance of life. So there is a good scenario and a bad scenario in this bridge, but I like to look now at the good scenario.
And here we can see really, I'm just looking at these trees and the branches, and I'm looking really at the rocks and the depth of the water. And I'm thinking here, life's for living, isn't it?
That's right, yeah.
And when we admire the beauty of the earth, and we look at all of these things going on, and we look at your faith, and we look at, but irrespective of the faith, you felt that nothing mattered at these last few seconds, you know. I mean, normally at that time we think of our loved ones, our mum, our dad, our brothers and sisters, and then we might reconsider this. But was the depression so intense, and the suicidal depression really so intense that you just wanted to go without a thought of anyone? Is that the way you're thinking?
That's right, yeah. I didn't really care anymore. I had that much fear in my body as well of being murdered by the people who were sending me death threats, that I wanted to do the quick way out. So in a way, for the family and friends, it wouldn't seem as painful, but now when I look back, it would have been a lot worse. But I didn't think of anything other than get me out of this, get me out of this situation, get me out of this world, get me out of this life. That was really the way I felt.
And now you're an amazing ambassador for mental health. You've turned your life around in such a wonderful way that story I've never even heard of before. And now you're a real ambassador, working also with me in charity.
That's right.
You know, Joshua, as a volunteer. And your ambitions now are to just tell the viewers what is it that how do you see yourself in the next number of years, Joshua?
Yeah, so within the next number of years, I'd like to get into TV work. So I'd like to get into maybe presenting, or maybe coming on and talking about my story in a public way to share a positive message and hopefully inspire someone to do the right thing. Don't make the mistake I was so close to making, and just to be your own person and believe in every single thing that you do. So I'd like to look at myself as, yes, an ambassador for mental health, but to really just be a friend for everyone who needs it.
Joshua, thank you so much. You're an amazing guy. I love talking to you and interviewing you.
Thank you.
And I feel your story is so highly unique, apart from all the other ones I've heard and worked with. And I believe that young people will be greatly inspired by what you've got to say to them. You'll be greatly inspired and motivational. You've motivated them to turn their lives around and say, hi, I can do this, you can do this. So Joshua. So Joshua, thank you so much indeed.
Thank you, Arthur.
I think we'll stay here and have a picnic maybe today.
We could do that, yeah.
But Joshua, so many thanks indeed.
Thank you, Arthur.